All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Mortal Terror issue number 3 of 4 from Dark Horse Comics by Christopher Golden, Tim Levin, Peter Bergting, and Christian O'Halloran. Covered by Peter Bergting. So this guy's on fire because he's a vampire. The first 2 issues, I had a little bit trouble connecting with it. But I like the premise. This is basically reverse Bram Stoker's Dracula, and where the good guys are the vampires and the bad guys are the humans, somewhat. There's some things here that I have questions about, but overall I had a little bit, like I said, connecting issues. But this one really, this one is really good. I mean, it really picks up the pace. We have some questions answered to a certain degree. And the story is moving very, and there's some action that I really like. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in. So we have Renfield. Renfield wants to talk to Dracula. Dracula's human, right? So because Dracula made him a promise to make him basically human again and reconnecting with his wife. And basically he's ratting out some of his vampire brethren. And because in the beginning I thought, when I read this book, I thought, the vampires are the good guys, but there is some things in here that are vampires also doing some bad stuff to vampires turn human, experimenting on that, right? And that's basically the main little bit story from Renfield here. But clearly the humans are the bad guys here. I wish there was a little bit more gray area, like it's a little bit unknown who really the bad guy is until the last issue. But hey, it's not bad. It basically works. So the humans are setting up a trap for the vampires that are looking for humans, because their leader, the big king, says, well, it seems that vampires forget after a couple of 100 or 1,000 years. They forget a lot, and they have been driven underground. And so the king says, well, there's no humans anymore. We just exterminate them or something. They are not here anymore. But there's some bombings going on, because humans are basically attacking the vampire realm. And so there's a group of soldiers basically want to search for humans and bring one of them back as a proof, right? And also stop the bombings. All right, so they're here at this church. And then the vampires jump in, and it's daylight, right? But they are, very well protected. So the vampire says, silver may kill me, but not fast enough to save you. So, all right, so the soldiers have silver bullets. And there are some fun things going on here. He said, throw down your weapons, mortal bastards, or die screaming. Any sign of him, Johnny? Don't worry, Lucy. If Dracula's here, he won't get away. Anyway, so the vampire says, I'm Captain Westenra of the King's Expeditionary Force. You're alive for the moment, but if you refuse to cooperate, you will wish you were dead. We have many questions, but before we begin, tell us, where is Dracula? So this guy comes out and says, I bring his apologies, Mr. Harker. Yeah, Jonathan Harker, who's now a vampire. Dracula is otherwise occupied at the moment. You have to settle for me. So he's coming out some kind of a secret hideout along with others. And there is a sniper killing, the vampire soldiers. Did you really think it would be that easy? And so the tables are getting turned around, but this looks a little bit weird, right? So this guy is, exposing this guy's face, and he's burned by sunlight, but I don't know, I just would have probably done it a little bit differently. But he kills him whilst he's on fire. His buddy is protecting him, throwing some kind of a cloth over his head. And so this vampire guy grabs this sniper soldier. Captain Westenra, this way. This whole thing was a trap. The train attack itself was to lure us here. So talking about the bombing of the train, right? Retreat, Lucy. We have to get him out of here. All right, but then they are being overwhelmed, I guess, although they are vampires. But, there are too many of them. Get out, Lucy. Muster a damn battalion, come back for revenge, but go right now. If we all die, these bastards will never pay for what they've done. All right, one-blooded pig, do your worst. Not to worry. I plan to. So yeah, this is Jonathan Harker turned vampire, and he says, "We can dig those silver bullets out of you, Harker, but fight me, and the next one goes for your brain. Ah, finish it. No, there are plans for you, places to go, people to see. I like this smoke effect, right? So he's been put into a box." And he says, "Not to worry, though. Once he's done with you, Dracula will give you a fate worse than any death you can imagine." So again, the humans are being depicted here as bad guys. Well, the vampires are fleeing with the human here, right? So this guy says, "Call for the carriage. The leeches have retreated, but won't be long before they bring reinforcements. We got to move fast." Renfield says, "You're going to him now. I know you are. You have to take me with him." "Have to? The information I have for him is only for him. He said he will make me warm. He said I could be with my wife." So he says, "All right, I bring you to Dracula. Now you can wear Harker's suit, but it has holes in it. We're going now, Renfield. You can risk a few score marks or stay behind." All right. So there, Renfield doesn't want to go outside because of the sunlight, right? He says, "You're boring me, worm. Get into the carriage. We got what we came for. Let's head out." All right. Now, I wanted to speak about the colors. I really like the Mike, one of my followers. He's commenting me on every video. Thank you, Mike. He's saying about I believe it was in the Atari Force review that I did about, I believe the word was monochromatic colors, when different people have different colors like blue or yellow or red to differentiate themselves from others, and that makes them pop out so you can see who's who. And I must say, I like this very depressing, lost, bleak depiction here. And the artist, I think it's really good. Very, very dark horsey, very Mike Mignola, Mike Mignola-esque, from Hellboy. Because when I think of Dark Horse, I immediately think of Mike Mignola. So with this lost, abandoned town, and then we have this yellow color in here, all, that's, I don't know, it just speaks to me. It's very atmospheric, but then very bleak and depressing. Really well done. Maybe I'm going to use that in future books as well. Hopefully my book will be successful, my comic that's coming out. And maybe I will do something like this. I really like this. Yeah. Anyway, so they're going for secret routes. This abandoned overground route. For instance, the first piece of the overground tunnel ever built, shoddily, partially collapsed and long ago abandoned. Vampire memories decay. Time and arrogance has combined to make it seem unimportant to those in London below. That was a mistake. So London below is the vampire city, right? Meanwhile, we go back to our vampire. Well, I'm not calling them heroes, right? Because they are not good guys either. Anyway, so they're talking about Jonathan Harker, and he says, "How will he be okay?" The captain says, "We should never have left him. We should have stayed and finished him, and ended up like ash. I have taken a dozen of them with me. You're a soldier, Jamie. You weighed the odds, and back there the odds were against us. But we turned those odds around. But they are not all in agreement. I don't care about the odds. My brother's dead, Lucy. Those bastards burned him to dust, and I want revenge. Don't you think we all do? I left Johnny back there. The best thing I've got." Jonathan Harker. And then she's being stabbed by the prisoner, and she just looks around. It's just, uh-oh, I made a mistake. So Lucy, is turning around, and she says, "Not even silver. What do you hope to accomplish with that?" So she's being bitten, or maybe drained. Not sure she's dead or just turned, maybe. I don't know. She swears revenge. Meanwhile, we go back to the humans, and then they stop in this tunnel. And Renfield says, "Hey, we are not there yet. Why are we stopping?" "Stopping to have a little chat with you, Mr. Renfield." "No, let me go. I'll rip you both apart if you try. You'll do nothing of the kind. You want Dracula to trust you. You want the gifts he can give, which means you do exactly what we say. Tell me now, Renfield, what is the precious information you can only give to Dracula? I won't, he made promises, he says. But then this bastard says, hey, give me a silver knife. And he says, no, don't. You don't understand the pain, the poison. On the contrary, I understand perfectly. I inflicted the pain of silver on dozens of cold-blooded vultures before you. So Renfield spills the beans. He says that Dr. Seward is a vampire under London, or below London. He's been experimenting with bacteria. He believes he can create a disease that will spread against mortals and kill you all. That's all I know. So this guy says, that's all you know. And you think for that, Dracula, were not with your wife, that you will make you one of us and walk in the sun? This is where we leave you, Renfield. Go back to your cell in London below if you want to be Dracula's spy and earn his favor. Learn the secrets of Seward's research, the plague he intends to unleash to destroy it all. I said, then destroy it all and kill Dr. Seward. Only then will you have your heart's desire. So Renfield goes back. And then we go to below, London below. And we have Mina Harker here. So there's a red mist that coming from underground. We have livestock and steam coming from that, blood steam or something that sustenance the city or whatever. And then she's meeting up with this guy. But this page is a little bit underwhelming because the way they explain the story, there's not really a story here. Basically, they are meeting and they're complimenting each other, right? And they have mutual agreements or something. And they drink to that. It's not really moving the plot a little forward. So, yeah, I don't know. But here, he says that he's part of the Red Guard, His Majesty's closest circle. And basically is also responsible for bringing, His Majesty the best of the best when it comes to blood, And Mina Harker wants to have a taste of it. So he says, I can tell you all you need to know if you're brave or stupid enough to attempt to get a taste of his private stock for yourself. But first, payment. So there's some treachery in here, but it's not for her. The blood is for Dracula, who is, as far as I know, still human. He told me everything. Much of it you already surmised, but now we have the details. Well done, Mina, my love. I'm grateful to you. I would do anything for you, Lord Dracula. I think it's just a ruse, but that's a guess for Mina to get closer to, I don't know, the king. And maybe Dracula wants to take out the king and then take over Vampire's city or maybe eradicate them all. Not entirely sure. So Renfield comes back into the Vampire city, and then going through the research, and he vows on his favor, Mr. McClintock, I'll save your whole damn tribe, and when I do, he let me name my own reward. I claim my Gabrielle. He make me warm like her and make my heartbeat start red blood running in my veins. I stand with her in the sun, and then I tell him the one last thing I claim as part of my reward is your goddamn head. All right, so, but then I thought it was some kind of a follow-up from that Renfield took the files, but that's not it. So this guy who was also in the military, he was wounded. Now he's been healed again, and he says that the force has been ambushed, and they are back, and there was fatalities. And he says, "Get me my goddamn guns." But we don't see that. Meanwhile, we go to this place where McClintock is going, right? And he has Harker as Jonathan Harker as a prisoner. And like I said, the atmosphere is really well done. And then we see the Brides of Dracula, which I find very funny. So these are basically mortal women who are Dracula's advisors, confidants, and generals. He calls them his sisters instead of brides. Marcella, a survivor from the great European tribes. Agnes, a warrior from the north, struck mute by the terror she has seen. And Gabrielle, once a vampiric wed to the lunatic Renfield, Dracula's greatest assets. For now. So this guy comes in, he says, they're here, and they have him. So they drag Jonathan Harker in this casket, right? What do they have planned for him? I don't know. But nothing in the world could persuade me to change places with that bastard. Good evening, Mr. Harker. Shall we begin? And that leads us to the next issue. I'm on board. This was really well told, really tense. Great atmosphere, great lighting, that adds to the atmosphere. I really like it. This really clicks for me. So we have only one issue to go, and then we'll see if it actually pays off. I hope so, because I'm having fun. And mostly, when it comes to 4 or 5 issues, people don't. Certain writers cannot pull it off. I hope this one does, because I'm on board. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. See you next time. Bye-bye.